Now, the rest of the story. Somewhere there are real-life X-Files, cryptic databases full of stuff that they keep from the rest of us. And if that's true, then in the very back of the bottommost drawer would be the lowdown on Compass East. That was the operation's code name, Compass East. And this is the rest of the story. The locals were getting nervous. You get that way sometimes when your neighbors are too far away to see. That's the downside of the wide open spaces. You spook easy. But many insisted it was not their imagination. Something huge, something mysterious had invaded the countryside and was preparing to swallow them whole. For one thing, there were too many strangers hanging around, strangers asking questions. One question in particular, would you like to sell your land? The offers were not bad. $150, $200 an acre. Offers so good that plenty of folks were selling. But these were not farmer types buying up all that property. They were people with a secret in common. And still, would home folks learn what that secret was before it was too late? The government was behind this, some speculated. Indeed, as the local landowners could have known, there were military men in charge of the field operations of Operation Compass East. General William E. Potter, former governor of the Canal Zone, field commander. Poised to join General Potter was Admiral Joseph Fowler, who had a reputation for the successful execution of missions impossible. All communications relating to Operation Compass East, most of them top secret, were funneled through an invisible post office box in Kansas City, Missouri. And behind it all was Mr. Big. Mr. Big. He had thought of acquiring the land for his project in various locations. He'd looked at St. Louis and Baltimore. He'd looked at Niagara Falls, but he chose the property he chose for a dozen practical reasons, and one utterly impractical one. His parents were married there. In the town of Akron, Florida, only a few miles north of the vast land holdings acquired in Operation Compass East. Mr. Big had hired former military men because of their organizational skills and their discipline and their determination, but this was not a military operation. It was an enchanted one. Of course, when word finally got out just who was buying all that land, property values skyrocketed from $200 an acre to $300,000 an acre. But the land necessary was acquired, and from the swamps of central Florida there arose, more than a quarter of a century ago, a magic kingdom. Probably all your life you've known its king, Mr. Big, Walt Disney, but now you've seen for yourself the surreptitious machinations of a magnificent land acquisition operation, codenamed Compass East. The carefully orchestrated covert plot which made those 27,000-plus acres affordable, a chunk of property twice the size of Manhattan Island, that 35 years ago became Disney World. And now you know the rest of the story.
Hello, Paul Harvey fans, and welcome to the rest of the story, where we look at more information about the story you just heard. Walt Disney's first theme park, Disneyland, opened in Anaheim, California in 1955. Walt Disney Productions studied the demographics of the visitors to the park and realized that only about 5% of Disneyland's visitors came from the area east of the Mississippi River, where, at the time, 75% of the population of the United States lived. Disney needed a park somewhere east of the Mississippi. As soon as Disneyland opened, businesses of various types and qualities sprung up all around the park, which lessened the visitors' magical experience. It's hard to feel the magic of Disney when you're looking at gas station and fast food signs. For Disney World, Walt wanted more property so he could keep the experience magical for his guests. After considering several sites, Walt secretly took a helicopter ride over a large area of pasture and swampland near Bay Lake, Florida. The roads in this area were well developed, and he knew that Interstate 4 and the Florida Turnpike were in development. Under the code name, as we learned earlier, Operation Compass East, the Disney Corporation set up several dummy companies to purchase the property. This would keep land prices from skyrocketing by making it appear that the property was being bought by several different entities and not just one single company. Examples of the dummy company names included the I-4 Corporation, Latin American Development and Management Corporation, and the Reedy Creek Ranch Corporation, names which surely would not have brought suspicion towards Walt Disney in any way. Disney delayed the filing of the deeds, the recordation of the land purchases, until most of the land was already under contract. Recording the deeds could have triggered public scrutiny in the project and could have led to price spikes in the price of land. But there was a catch to the more than 27,000 acres of land that Disney was interested in. Disney could purchase the land, yeah, but Tufts University owns the mineral rights. With those mineral rights, Tufts University had the legal right to come onto the land at any time, regardless of what was built on the land, and mine for minerals such as oil and gas. Through another dummy corporation, Disney purchased the mineral rights from Tufts University for $15,000. Shortly after the dummy companies began making offers, people speculated as to who was buying up all the property. Some suggested that NASA was buying the property to aid in the nearby Kennedy Space Center. Some suggested that the property was being bought by famous investors such as Henry Ford, the Rockefellers, or the ever-reclusive Howard Hughes. On May 20th, 1965, the Orlando Sentinel reported that Disney was building an East Coast version of Disneyland, but later denied the accuracy of their own article after an interview with Walt Disney. In October of 1965, Emily Bavar, editor of the Sentinel, interviewed Walt Disney personally during Disneyland's 10th anniversary celebration. Bavar asked Disney if he was behind the large land purchases. Bavar said Walt Disney looked like I had thrown a bucket of water in his face. Disney quickly regained his composure and denied that he was buying the property. But his reaction was telling. Bavar got more sources and published a story in the Sentinel with the headline, "We say mystery industry is Disney." Disney planned to publicly reveal Disney World on November the 15th, 1965, but due to the article in the Sentinel, Disney asked Florida's Governor Hayden Burns to confirm the story in a press release on October 15th, 1965. Sadly, Walt Disney died on December the 15th, 1966, long before the completion of Disney World. Under the direction of his brother and longtime business partner, Roy Disney, the park opened to the public on October the 1st, 1971. The price of admission in 1971 was $3.50 for adults, $2.50 for children under 18, and $1 for children under 12. Today, a standard admission ticket costs more than $100, which does not include any convenience fees, parking fees, or anything such as that. Have you ever been to Disneyland or Disney World? If so, tell me about your experience in the comments. I'm Brad Dison. Thanks for watching. And as Paul Harvey would say, good day.